Hi, good morning all. This session is about adverse event reporting. Before going with the adverse event reporting, I'm telling how drug will manufacture. Okay. First, it will synthesize in lab, then it is going for lab checking, then after drug manufactured, it will check with the 5 people first, then with the 10 to 50 people, then with 100 people. Okay. After that, it will go for regulatory department. After getting approval from regulatory department, then only this drug will come to the market. Okay. Now, COVID came, right? 2019. And vaccines also came. After taking vaccine, some people having fever, some of them having pain. These fever and pain, we call it as side effects or negative effects. Okay. This side effect or negative effect, by taking medical treatment, drugs, vaccines, we are going to document it. Okay. This is known as adverse event reporting. The definition of this is adverse event reporting refers to systematic process of documenting and sharing information about any negative or undesirable incident that occurred in relation to medical treatment, drugs, and vaccines. What it involves? It involves data collection and analyzing the causes and taking appropriate actions. Why? Because to ensure patient safety. Okay. These negative effects, it will help for of drug. Okay, that's why this adverse event reporting is very essential for any drug. What are the objectives of this adverse event reporting? Why it is important? As I already told, to ensure patient safety, identify the risk after taking this drug. Okay, while noting the symptoms and the side effects, it helps to improve the quality of drug. I already mentioned these adverse event will document and will report, right? Where we where adverse event will going to report means there is a regulatory framework for adverse event reporting. That is in India, pharmaceutical companies, okay, and medical devices manufacturer must report any side effect or any problem related to the products to the government agency. That name is Central Drug Standard Control Organization. In short, CDS, CO. What we have to inform there about side effect and malfunctioning of some devices, medical devices are there, no? That also we have to mention. Manufacturer like drug and medical devices are also have to follow some specific rule, and they have to report adverse event in timely. They have to maintain time also. Within that time, they have to inform. There are some rules of CDSCO, Drugs and Cosmetic Rules Act 1940 and Drugs and Cosmetic Rules 1945, and also Medical Device Rules 2017. What these rules are telling mainly about GVP guidelines. What it means, GVP guidelines means good pharmacovigilance practices. It includes pharmacovigilance activity. Pharmacovigilance activity means noting down the side effects, documenting, reporting, risk management, and communication. Okay. Based on the severity of adverse event, there are four types of adverse event reporting. First one is serious adverse event reporting. In this, adverse event includes death, life-threatening situation, hospitalization for a long time, or babies born with a birth defect. The example for this is thalidomide effect. Thalidomide, earlier thalidomide drug was given to the pregnant women after they delivered a baby. The babies having birth defect, like without limbs. After that, they stopped giving for pregnant women. This is one of the serious adverse event. So this is come under serious adverse event reporting. Non-serious adverse event reporting. For example, after taking Dolo tablet, you are having mild tiredness. Okay, this is the side effect of Dolo. This is somewhat temporary discomfort or minor problem. Okay, this will come under non-serious adverse event reporting. Unexpected adverse event reporting. For example, M new drug is there. They mention after taking this tablet, you are going to have mild headache. Okay, this is predicted. But what happens after taking this tablet? Continue vomiting will happen. Okay, continue vomiting. This is not predicted. This is unexpected adverse event. So this will come under unexpected adverse event reporting, and this sent to further investigation. Okay. Last one is expected adverse event reporting. What it means, for example, for cancer patients, okay, during cancer treatment, they will predict some of the side effects. These side effects include it's difficult to eat, legs become swollen. Okay, these are predicted one. That's why this is known as expected adverse event reporting. Process of adverse event reporting. First one is identification. The patient they are having, if they have any unexpected symptoms, any negative symptoms, that should be identified by patients, caregivers, healthcare professionals. Okay, they have to manufacturer, they have to identify and recognize the adverse event. Then documentation is informations. What are the negative symptoms they are having, their discomfort with? This is it with documented it with patient details, what they are having problems, the products they have products involved in it, and the treatment what they have given, and the severity of the adverse event, and if there is any other factor contributing for that severity. For example, they are having side effect as vomiting, continue vomiting. Is there any other factor like is the patient having digestion issue, or only that drug in a treatment they have given will cause this severity? They will document it. Then they will report for a regulatory authority. This report should include all the relevant information for proper evaluation and analysis. Timeliness. These adverse event report they should be due within required time frame by the regulatory guidelines or reporting procedures. Then follow. After submitting all the documents related to the adverse event, if regulatory authority needs any confirmation, any information, or any clarification, follow communication is necessary. Next, analysis and evaluation. These reports sent to authority will be analyzed and evaluated. Expert will assess the severity, potential implication for the patient, and also they are reviewing with the similar reports, conducting an epidemiological studies. Okay. Action. After analyzing, authorities may take various action to address the issue. They may tell manufacturer, or they may tell required to ban or continue, or for that person only because of other reason this adverse event done. They will notify further after analysis. Some challenges in adverse event reporting. You have to manage large volume of data. Okay, it's difficult to manage. And also responses must be timely. Patient having symptoms now means they have to report it as soon as possible within that time frame given by regulatory authority they have to mention. And also if they need any information they need to submit within that time frame only. And this process is a complex process because testing after testing in lab and with some people they release drug, but later they're having some problem, some adverse event means then they have to report with all the data. This is a complex process and fear of litigation. They will sometimes they will fail to report because they are having fear of litigation. Thank you.